Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the Nothing But Net podcast. As usual, I'm Mitch here with Judah and Ryan, and today we got special guest Kyle here with us. And we'll be talking about the San Antonio Spurs, a team that we haven't really spoken much about this year. Judah, what are your thoughts? Are they championship contenders or not?
I think the Spurs are definitely championship contenders at this moment. They've always been one of the best teams in the NBA for the last decade or so. Easy in the top 10. Definitely one of the best teams in the West. They're still second right now, and they're not too they're pretty far away from Golden State. But yeah, they're second by a lot, above many other teams in the West. And Kawhi. They got Kawhi Leonard, who's putting together his best performance he's ever had, best career averages.
Season, yeah.
Yeah, and he's playing really well. And then along with LaMarcus Aldridge, he puts up good points as well. Then Patty Mills also playing well off the bench. They got a lot of young players who are like Davis Bertans and stuff, players like that who are really carrying the Spurs this year. But yeah, the only other teams I can see contending with them are Golden State and Cavs. But if something can happen to Cavs, like for example the Kevin Love injury, that's going to bring them down. Spurs really have a chance to compete this year.
Excellent. Kyle, special guest. Obviously, Spurs your favourite team. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to go with no, to be honest. They are second in the West, and I think they're the closest to Golden State, but I just don't think they're on the level with Golden State. To be honest, they're just too old. I mean, all they need is, LaMarcus Aldridge or someone to go down with injury, and they're screwed basically. So, I think their bench is okay at the moment, but I think they need to rebuild. Like, coming from the Spurs, they sort of haven't really gone through a rebuilding phase for a while. Well, really ever since, Tim Duncan sort of came to the Spurs. But, he's gone and they've tried to replace him with Aldridge, but I just don't really see them challenging Golden State in the playoffs, to be honest. I think Golden State are just head and shoulders above in the West, and I think they really are above the Cavs at the moment too.
Excellent. And Ryan, your thoughts?
The Spurs. I honestly think the Spurs are going to really shock everyone this year and get bounced out in the first round. I honestly don't see them making it past the first round.
Utah Jazz. Will the Utah Jazz take them down?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh no, but in all seriousness though, I wouldn't count Utah out. I think
that wasn't a joke.
I think they've split the season so far. I'm very, very positive. Utah beat them in one of the games they've played. You got other teams like Houston, LA. Unfortunately, I just don't think the Spurs match up against anyone that well anymore.
No, yeah, definitely.
The team culture is really good. I mean, one of the strongest in the league with but Tony Parker and Ginobili, they're just too old now. I mean, you see glimpses of Ginobili in that, and Tony Parker, but
once every 20 games.
You just can't. Yeah.
But you gotta imagine too. Like, we're talking about playoff time when the whole season's over. Everyone's played 82 games. They got mileage all over on their body and stuff. They're gonna be sore, and realistically, you're gonna be relying on Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, and you can't even rely on him that much.
No, absolutely no. And although Spurs obviously had a good bench last year, they had guys like Kevin Martin and Andre Miller. They had a lot of veterans. I don't think you can say the same about their bench this year. I think they've dramatically lost. You saw with David West, who was fairly big for them as backup big last year.
They did replace him with David Lee though.
No,
who was very good on that Golden State team.
Not bad, yeah. And you've also got Pau Gasol they brought in. I just don't think defensively they're the same team they were last year.
I think there's a difference between being really consistent during the season and then coming up in the playoffs and really I just don't see him beating Golden State.
Oh, absolutely. The Bulls were like that under Thibodeau. I mean, they'd win 60 games. And then they'd get bounced out by
same as Toronto Raptors.
Exact same. Yeah.
No, definitely. But obviously, Judah, you think that they were, but Kyle and Ryan, some of the biggest factors that you two have talked about are injuries and also their age. So, what paths do you think the Spurs can take to really get rid of that problem of older players that are more injury prone? Ryan?
Oh, they're gonna make trades.
Make trades?
They're gonna rebuild.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think, and also I think Popovich is a realist too. He knows that they can't aren't on the same level as Golden State this year. I don't think he's kidding himself. Their point guards, Tony Parker or Patty Mills, and by no means is Patty Mills a bad player, but he's not a starter in the NBA. And you're comparing him to Steph Curry and Chris Paul. He's just not a starter. Westbrook, all of those players. So in saying that, I think in free agency, obviously they'll be relying on, they need to move some cap room, but I think a guy that Chris Paul him signing with the Spurs would
Yeah, I've
be
heard
huge.
about that too.
Mm.
But yeah,
It wouldn't surprise me if that happened.
It'd make a lot of sense too. That's
Still
where most
gonna,
veterans.
still gonna be old though.
That's where
Yeah,
most
yeah.
veterans.
Getting along,
That's where all
yeah.
veterans
But
go
I'm
to
saying
die.
he's still one of the best. He's still one of the best point guards in the NBA. Probably the best true point guard.
Oh yeah, for
You know,
sure.
Rondo and Rubio.
I think getting Gasol
Yeah.
early was a really big mistake there. I mean, now
Like I said, it's where all veterans go to die.
to be
All
honest, like
veterans.
Dwayne Dedman off the bench, I think is honestly for the last few months been playing better.
Oh,
than
defensively,
Gasol.
absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
he's also really good, in the lob. He's just, but
Poor man's version of DeAndre.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very poor man.
Very, very poor.
But but especially with Aldridge and Gasol starting, like Aldridge is obviously a fantastic player, offensively, but defensively, Spurs front court's just a front court, highway to the rim. Like honestly, there's no protection at all.
Yeah, the biggest problem with Chicago's defense last year was Pau Gasol, and Chicago are a good. Their defense is one of their strengths too, and their biggest problem was Pau Gasol playing that center position when Noah was injured. Yeah, because I mean,
he's just too old.
he has a good amount of career blocks, but that doesn't really tell the whole story with Pau Gasol.
If you get, he's absolutely a stat filler. I saw some statistics showing that. I think we spoke about it in the Gasol video at the signing. All these blocks come from within 1 foot. You know what I mean? Like they aren't working blocks. And there was a statistic that showed he actually missed. Out of all the big men centers in the league, he actually missed the most amount of blocks.
Yeah.
As in, most people are scoring in the paint on him.
Yeah.
So he's letting in far too many points, and you see it now with Lopez. Like Lopez's Bulls defense looks so much better than last year.
I think another person that they've got is maybe improving their shooting guard. I mean, Danny Green is a good shooting guard at times, but the thing that kills Danny Green, in my opinion, is just inconsistency.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, every time he hits the floor, you don't really know what you're going to get with him. He can be shooting like a god, and then at other times he can be almost like a bit of a non-factor. if you
No,
know
he's
what I
very
mean.
hot and cold. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just too inconsistent.
His
for him.
defense has digressed a fair bit too. I mean,
he
a
used
lot of
to
people,
be.
a lot of people viewed him as
I mean,
Klay Thompson.
they got DeJounte Murray in the 2016 NBA draft, and I think he's someone that could possibly lift them at point guard. I mean, they played him a bit this season.
His minutes are terrible.
But
though,
yeah,
on the Spurs.
Patty Mills plays the most minutes at point guard now. I mean, over Parker because they don't
Parker
want Parker
rests
injured. But
majority of the game.
they've got other guys like as you're saying, Bertons. But I don't see those sort of guys coming through and becoming stars. If you know what I mean. David Lee's old. He's good off the bench and he's a good power forward. I rate David Lee, but I just don't see him contending. To be honest, but being second in the West, that they are a good team, and I'd probably put them as probably 4th or 5th best at the moment in the whole league. But
who would you say is better than them?
Well, at the moment, I'd have to say Boston and Washington would have to be
That's
better.
only 2 teams.
Would you rank Houston above him?